Can the two of you kind of walk us through what those regulations mean? And we're talking about CARB, we're talking about, you know, like if, I know there's a couple of Harbor Trucking Association folks here, we've heard things like 1 out of every 5 trucks that go into the ports are not going to be as of January 1st. Why is that? What is that going to do to the industry in your mind?
So similar to you, I also ran a drayage trucking fleet for like a decade here in Southern California. And I also had to sell my trucks in Arizona when the truck and bus rule came into effect. So first things first, truck and bus rule. And the harbor trucking folks here might want to chime in and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not going to be able to register any trucks that are older than 2010. That's happening now. And that's a transition that we've seen coming for a while. It's been around for about 10 years, but I have a lot of empathy for small business owners who maybe actually didn't see it coming on the horizon. Because quite often, when you're in this business, right, you're really busy moving stuff and trying to collect invoices, and it's hard to keep track of everything that's going on. So that's the very first one. That's going to affect everyone. And then the next one that I've been working a lot on with CARB is the Advanced Clean Fleet Rule. So there's been the Advanced Clean Truck Rule, which forces folks like Alec here to sell a certain number of zero-emission trucks in the state. But the follow-on to that will probably be passing next year, and that's going to say that you cannot register any new truck into the drayage registry that's not zero emission starting, what year is it? 2024? Yeah, see, you know. He's keeping track. So, and then a similarly aggressive rule for just all trucks operating in California. So that actually applies outside of drayage to fleets over 50. So if you're not a huge fleet, it's not a big issue for you, but if you're a drayage fleet, it's a very big issue. Because that's where size doesn't matter. The fact that you're operating in a port is going to make you have to comply with those rules. So just with that on the horizon, we see the transition for smaller fleets to zero emission as a really high priority. We know that the largest fleets in the world are already doing it, right? The Pepsis, the Walmarts, the Targets, the Amazon. Right? They have the resources, they have the staff, they have people thinking about this and planning, long-term planning. They have access to really great financing, and they have a great team that can plan infrastructure for them. But what happens to the other 80% of folks out there? So we're all here to really help and try to figure out how the 80% of fleets that are out there that are all small businesses are going to be able to adjust to this ACT and the truck and bus rule that's coming down the pipeline and others that are going to change the landscape. You guys, what I think is going to happen, I think there's going to be a lot of consolidation. I think that a lot of the small businesses are going to end up probably shuttering, and a lot of owner-operator drivers will become employee drivers. I think that is just going to be part of the transition.